This is Eric Rattan of Cannibal Corpse. You are listening to the Scars and Guitars podcast with Andrew McKay Smith.
Hope you are doing well out there, no matter from where on the globe you are listening from. I truly appreciate that you find value in these conversations because I've got a cracker coming up for you. It features Voodoo Moonshine guitarist Jeff Losawyer. Now, the catalyst for the chat with Jeff comes about courtesy of the group's new album for 2022, titled Bottom of the Barrel, and it's a very early contender for Album of the Year. Certainly one of the best releases that I've heard thus far. I'm digging what these guys do. You'll hear their track in the moment. It's titled Locked and Loaded. Man, fans of no bullshit, hard rock and heavy metal are going to appreciate what Jeff and the lads in Voodoo Moonshine, we'll get it out eventually, what they are bringing courtesy of this album. Now, before we get to the chat, I need to let you know that this is one of those conversations that was plagued by shitty internet connection issues, so you'll hear Jeff cut in and out. Do bear with it though. A bit like the chat with Matt Pike from High on Fire and Sleep. Whilst the core quality might be low quality, the conversation is transverse to that. It is high quality. I hope you enjoyed this conversation featuring Jeff from Voodoo Moonshine. Before we get to the conversation though, let's have a listen to Locked and Loaded. Michael sent through Bottom of the Barrel, and that's the name of the new album from you guys, and it's out right now. Now, here's my take on it. in a paragraph or less. Okay, it's cracking metal tinged southern rock with its roots in groups and artists like Ted Nugent, Skinner, Whitesnake, Skid Row, Lynch Mob, and a heap of other no bullshit hard rock outfits that know that the almighty riff is the pillar of this style of music. So I understand the band's been on hiatus and it's roared back to life. So why resurrect the beast?
Man, it was an accident. I mean, I had finished this CD. I don't know. I thought about 10 years ago. I had another singer over in England, and we had completed it. And at the time, I was married, and she got ill. So I'm like, well, I'm done with the CD. I need to take care of her, and I just shelved it. And shelved it for 7 years, 8 years, something like that. And, so I was just working multiple jobs and just, trying to keep things going and for her and everything. And I happened to check some of our social media pages, and there was a message from a pretty well-known astronaut. He just, basically left a message saying he dug us and, just be careful in the business for all the snakes, And I thought, well, social media, man, it could be anybody pretending to be somebody, I didn't think much of it.
Yeah.
Then a few days later, I got a message from Tesla's old producer, Steve Thompson. And he was working with this manager, and I thought, man, this is the scam, And come to find out, it was really those guys, and he was interested in producing the CD. I thought, well, shit, I guess I got to get the band back together, Nice. So at that time, with all those years that had passed, I don't expect no one to wait around, so those guys had moved on. I think my drummer that was on the CD ended up joining Every Mother's Nightmare. And Henry, the singer, I think he went to a band called Night by Night. I think he's a producer now. Mm-hmm. But I thought, well, I guess I got to get the band together. I got to find new guys. And so I got online and ended up, finding, and I just slowly went from there. I guess that's been about 3 years ago. 3 years ago now, 3 or 4 years. But it wasn't expected. I thought I was done. I thought I was retired. Just, going to be a working bloke and just not do anything with it, shelf it and be happy that I finished it. So we ended up redoing it. Obviously that producer was way too expensive. He liked us, but not enough to, cut me a huge break. So we ended up getting Sean Shannon, to remix it and do the vocal tracks. He's the ex-drummer of Pat Travers and Molly Hatchet.
Nice.
And here we are. It all just kind of started up again,
Must be fate. What do you think? Do you think it's down to fate? It's something in the stars?
I guess so, man. I mean, obviously we have a business plan and a game plan, but it's not like when we were 18 where we're just trying to just bat it home and chase after everything and, not really think about what we're doing, just being desperate about it. We obviously have a good team around us and we make plans, but, it's going to have to fall in our lap. You know what I mean? There's no desperation in it, and it just seems to be working out good that way. It helps too, because there's a lot of disappointment in this business. So if your expectations are pretty normal. It'll be okay. Everything that we're not expecting, triple platinum status next week. So anything, 10,000 plays, 20,000 plays, whatever, it's all good, and it's like starting over. I mean, because the first album was so long ago, I can't even compare anything back then to now, so it's like a brand new band, and it's all new guys,
Yeah, well, okay, I'll tell you something else. The most prominent aspect that I enjoy about the album is that it sounds like you guys don't give a shit. You're just having a great time and the audience is coming along for the ride. Do you feel the same way?
Yeah. At this age, we're not 18 anymore. We're not 19. At this age, it's all self-serving. I mean, we obviously want people to like it. We want to grow our numbers, but we're not going to sit here and go, oh, grunge is big right now, so we're going to write grunge. We're going to write this. We're going to follow this. We're going to do. No, I mean, obviously, we came from our growing up was in the 80s. I like the 70s classic rock. Pedro's into jazz type stuff. I mean, everybody's got their own thing, but we're basically, when I turn on a CD, I want to forget about the world's problems. I just want to enjoy that CD. And regardless of what the subject matter is, I definitely don't want to get bummed out by listening to it. So you keep it simple, sex, love, and rock and roll. Those are things everybody, can relate to.
Yeah, indeed. Yeah. It's look, something else about the album too, and indeed the band these days, is that you do have a unique sound in that the group, I feel like as though with this album, you could have taken the melodic route, but you've doubled down on the crunch factor, as I believe the album is, let's certainly compare them to Metallica, okay? The album to Metallica is certainly heavier than anything that they've released since, and Justice. So is that just my perception, or was it indeed a conscious thing to emphasize the heavy factor?
It's not a conscious thing, man. I'm the guitar player, I mean, I want that thick sound. I want, even on the ballads, I want that thick orchestrated sound. So even if it's just a simple AC/DC type chord progression, I just want that thick sound. Originally we were a 2-guitar band that didn't last very long. I've tried it again. This time it didn't last long because, especially at this age, guys, there's only so much they want to do. So I've had to rely on the fact, well, hell, I'm the guitar player. I wrote the stuff, so I guess I can do it myself, And although I recorded things with 2 guitar players in mind, I still knew that there was a possibility. So I made sure that I can pretty much do everything live also. Plus Pedro plays guitar, and he will if he has to. But I put a lot of money into the guitar rig, in this last year. And so yeah, I don't think we'll ever be doing anything like Metallica. Well, old Metallica, you mentioned Injustice. Yep. Which to me was Metallica. Yeah. Anything after that, to me, it's not the same.
Agreed.
But I grew up listening to Kill 'Em All and Master and things like that. But that chugga 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 guitar tone is real important with the melodic feel of, I don't know, like Tesla or the 80s bands that weren't just focused on the hair. They were actually focused on White Snakes and things like that, bands like that.
Yeah. Hey, with your guitar playing again, tell me about the ballads Round and Round and Eden in Your Eyes. So they're a bit different to the rest of the music insofar as, they've got a more melodic, even a ballad-esque approach. So are they? Do you find it easy to write that sort of music, or again, is it something that just comes naturally?
Well, ballads are easy to write. I mean, they've been always fairly easy for me to write. Eden in Your Eyes was probably the more complicated one. That one I originally wrote, and it was on what I instrumental. And then Henry, who I was working with back then, really liked it. I mean, he loved the song and he wanted to, have lyrics to it. So wrote lyrics to it, and it just kind of ended up on this CD. It was actually the first song that Pedro and I recorded and did a video for. On the CD, you'll get the orchestrated version, with violin, viola, cello, and all that, and the acoustic stripped down version. That one, I thought I did pretty well. That was I thought I had actually moved up in progress of my ability to play and write.
Nice.
Round and Round is, I don't want to say a typical ballad, but it's structured like a typical ballad. You got your catchy chorus, first bridge chorus, pre-chorus, and then the ending chorus goes up a step, the typical Bon Jovi type thing. I didn't sit down and write it that way, but I guess my influences and what I heard growing up, it worked out that way. But ballads are super easy to write. Those are always the last ones, because you can sit down. I write almost everything on acoustic guitar.
Okay.
My train of thought was, if there's a guy, and I'm big from the singer-songwriter era, if two guys can sit down with an acoustic guitar and vocals and make someone really pay attention, then they're good. Not just the big amps and, loud stuff going on. So I sit down and write it that way. And so when you play an acoustic, you always come up with melodic ideas. And that's how it came out, just simple ballads.
Gotcha. And the other one that I enjoy, possibly my favorite number on the album, is What a Way to Go, because of that killer Southern blues jam vibe that you've given it. So was that all you, mate, or was that did you invite the guys in the band to contribute to the songwriting of that one as well?
No, the guitar trail, as I said, I finished that album. I finished this album musically in 2010. That song, I had gone back to Oklahoma in 2009 because my grandmother had got ill. And at that time, I think 5 or 6, loved ones passed away within like a 2 or 3 month period. So it was pretty rough. And I come up with that. So I did the solo album, which was all acoustic, and it was basically for the funerals and stuff for everybody. After I finished that, I was still in Oklahoma, and I was sitting on a porch at a house, and there was a tornado going on. It was really weird. I was just sitting there going, "Oh, that's a big deal." I'm sitting there watching, and I come up with that riff and that idea. And that's how I come up with the title, What a Way to Go, reflecting on everyone's life that had, that I had lost, and then, how to live life until it's time to go. So I guess that played out, and I didn't realize that I was in Oklahoma, land of flat land and country, so that's just how it came out. And that slide part was in my head. That song, all the guys that I've had, since that time, it's written so weird. I detuned the song down, but then I capo it back up, and everyone's like, what sense does that even make? And I'm like, I really don't know. It's just a tone to me, Yeah. But actually, that song is slated to be the next single, so we'll put that out in probably April and May. We went ahead and did the video for it at the same time we did one. And so that is the schedule. That one to me that was supposed to be the first single, but then I got all the new guys in the band and they all had different ideas, and then, other business people. But I wanted What a Way to Go, but everyone had kind of waited on that. I think that that song kind of shows a little bit more musical maturity as opposed to Swallow My Pride, or sometimes you just want to, but I really enjoyed playing that song.
You want to just rock out, but occasionally you want to be a bit more sentimental like you are with that one there.
Sure.
Yeah. I wouldn't say it was easily my favorite song on the album, but it was certainly the one that stood out. And the other one that I enjoy too is Locked and Loaded. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not overly familiar, but is that the anthem of the United States there that you've got at the intro?
Yeah.
What was the decision? Yeah. Why did you put that there?
Well, because the U.S. and the world's kind of screwed up right now with, with the COVID situation, lockdown situations, being told what we can't do, whether it's for health reasons or personal reasons, you know what I mean? We kind of seen real fast how much power everyone has, and that we really don't seem to have as much power for ourselves as we thought we did. We're not real political. We obviously not political in the music at all, but none of us has been happy with the fact. I mean, who would have thought being a musician, you got to start looking when you're going into a tour situation, is that state locked down? Is that a red state, blue state? You know what I mean? We have to look at things like that. And, then the division of everything and everybody, whether it's media based or whoever was doing it. So we put that in there, Locked and Loaded is off the first CD, and we redid it. And it just seemed fitting at the time, because Locked and Loaded back in 2005, 6, whenever it was, that was one of the best playing songs we had at the time. And, so it just seemed to work out, we just felt that we need to put it there. Actually, that's our show intro,
Nice. Yeah. Nice. That's another killer song.
Yeah. The song's not the show intro, but the national anthem is going into it, a certain way we do it.
No, good on you. It's good to show some national pride. I mean, look, these days the political climate is best summarised as toxic, and that's being nice, because the left wing, they've just taken control of media narratives, big tech, and we're seeing the cancellation and demonisation of anyone prominent, such as Joe Rogan. They're trying to bloody cancel him at the moment. And anybody that doesn't fit into that progressive woke narrative, you're in a lot of trouble at the moment.
Yeah. Anyone opposes the narrative, then, it's the whole cancel culture right now. And it's kind of bullshit, I mean, it's what we're living, so we definitely want to try to make music to make people just forget about it, even for 45 minutes, listening to the CD, or an hour at the show. But I don't like the fact that they kind of control whether we can play a show or not. And if people have to wear masks in a crowd, or if we have to have plexiglass in front of us, I mean, it's just these last couple of years kind of really showed how much power that they have over us. And, it is, as you said, very toxic, and it's to the point where everyone throws tantrums. If you just don't agree with them, it's just, we're going to cancel you, and it just blew my mind the way everything kind of rolled out,
Well, I think outside of the state of New York and California, Australia's been as bad as the state of New York and California, possibly worse in some instances. We've only just had our borders opened in Queensland, the state of Queensland here, which sort of resembles Florida a bit, just to give you an idea of what we're like as people, I suppose. But we've got a left-wing government in power, and of course they tend to appeal to the mask mandates, the lockdowns and all of that sort of stuff. But I'm with you, mate. I just never thought we would end up at this point that we're in, and we give up our freedoms as easily as what we have to what effectively amounts to unelected officials, bureaucrats, and I certainly didn't vote for the current government that's in power, so I truly resent being told to do what we're being told to do at the moment.
Yeah, my parents had a hard time telling me what to do. Yeah, I didn't like my parents telling me what to do, much less strangers.
Yeah, I don't understand it. I don't know what happened. I mean, I think a lot of Americans have got a different idea about Australia, and that we because we gave up guns or what have you. We never really had a gun culture here. You see, we've always had a very healthy cynicism toward government. So I don't know what's happened to us in the last sort of 2 years or so, but here we are. And on that note, mate, I've got to ask: have you had a lot of contact from fans of your music from Australia?
No, not really. And you're saying you don't know what Americans think about Australia. We're only going to think what we're shown. So we don't really know, because you know how the media controls what you see and what goes in and what comes out. And, from what we heard, it's pretty rough in Australia. No, we haven't. I think maybe we have. I think we did have one interview, sometime last year. In Australia, but not a whole lot of activity out there, man.
It's a shame. Yeah, it's a shame. Yeah, because your music, if given the opportunity, would appeal to Australians, because there's no doubt there's a quorum of hardcore rock and roll fans down here that would love your music.
Well, I appreciate you at least giving us a little bit of stretch out there, a little bit of reach.
Yeah, no, it's cool, man. No, it's cool. I mean, as I say, Michael sent through the stuff. I get sent through so much material. And I try to give everything at least 20 seconds. It's, God, how much time have you got sort of thing. But yours, I definitely gave a lot more and thought, wow. And it all comes back down to what I said up top there about having that definitely a rock band. You're not a metal band. You're a rock band, and you're definitely a rock guitar player, but you got that metallic crunch going on. And I certainly know listeners to my podcast appreciate that sort of music.
Cool. Rise Free was the last song that we put on, the last song we recorded. And it originally was called Chain Reaction, but the lyrics were too 80s, So Pedro rewrote them. And it was right around the time all this lockdown, COVID, the election was stolen, blah, blah, blah. So that's what Rise Up is about. So if you ever get a chance, just listen to the words of that. That is probably our heavier song off the CD, that up-tempo heavy, just in your face rock and roll,
Nice. Okay. We'll definitely check that out then. I'll encourage everybody to check that out. Now, final question for you would be, if people want to buy your merch, if people want to buy the CD, where do they go to do that?
I'll buy direct.
Absolutely.
We've got, we're with Dark Star now. You can get our shit on Amazon, Google. You can get it online. Buy direct, because Spotify, all those, everyone's making money off of us. As far as our merch line, our t-shirts, bandanas, our, stickers, posters, pictures, go to voodoomoonshinerocks.com and buy direct. One thing we've learned, about being older and wiser now is, I bought the machine to do the merchandise. It has saved so much money. Our profit margin so much better. You don't have to go online. You can buy direct, and I know for a fact that it will be handled correctly. You will get the right stuff. But you can find us on all social media sites, streaming. Obviously, Google Play, Amazon, Apple, all that stuff. But buy direct. Go to Voodoo Moonshine Rocks and get the CD.
Definitely get the CD. I'm actually going to get the CD. Yeah, I'm getting back into CDs at the moment, actually. I just like to have the physical product and read the liner notes and that sort of thing. So I think delivered to Australia, it was only $28 or something. So, yeah.
I made it, and that's another thing about being older and never knowing in this business. I made it, now you can get everything online. And most kids, they download a song and know nothing about it. They just like the song and that's it. I'm old. So, we did a 16-page booklet, all the lyrics, all the credits, who did this, and where it was recorded. Because when I was young, man, that's what you bought it for. I would every Friday, if not more, go to a record store to buy something, even if I didn't know who they were, but they had a badass looking cover, or they looked cool. I bought it, and so just spent a lot of time on getting that disc done right, so it's like 16 pages. It's a booklet, and I just hope everyone else out there, wants that too, because in the last year, we've done limited edition versions of it with different covers and stuff like that, because I am a fan of the artwork of all these things. And we'll continue to do that. We'll release extended versions of things, but this CD, has been a cheap ass version of, Guns N' Roses 10 years, so I made sure that I did everything and put everything in there that we wanted, so you just get a copy and let us know what you think, man.
Well, I love the music. Thanks for doing what you're doing, mate. It is meaningful. Playing hard rock and roll is something that is the cure for what ails you, mate. It might not put money in the bank. It might not put alcohol in the belly or pizza in the belly or what have you, mate, but it does everything else as far as I'm concerned. So thank you for doing that, mate. And thanks so much for the conversation too. I appreciate it.
Thank you too, man. I appreciate you having me.
Thanks, brother. Well, all good. Enjoy the rest of the day. And again, thanks very much.
Okay. We'll talk to you soon.
Absolutely. Cheers. Jeff Losawyer, ladies and gentlemen, from the killer outfit from the United States titled Voodoo Moonshine. I enjoyed that chat, as I do so many, all of them, as a matter of fact. Put it this way, if it goes to air, I've enjoyed the conversation and I hope you do too. What else can I tell you? The book is almost out. 20th of February 2022, Scars and Guitars Volume 1, Conversations from the World of Heavy Metal and Beyond. Go to my website, scarsandguitars.com, and you can pre-order. If you're listening to this after February 20, 2022, go and get yourself some Conversations from over... How many bands are there? There's over 50 bands featuring over 90 musicians. So if you like what I do on the show and you want the reading accompaniment, there it is. My name is Andrew Mackay-Smith and I'm the host of the Scars and Guitars podcast. Until next time, it is a very goodbye for now.